Morning guys, Joel Frank here, market analyst for YouTrading, and this morning we're going to be taking a quick look at crude oil markets because as we've been speaking about in recent days, they are rallying and it does look like we got some big breakouts to the upside that could potentially happen, taking crude oil to multi-year highs. So let's dive into the chart and sort of have a look at what's been happening in recent days. I've got WTI here on, these are one-day candlesticks. And as you can see, since the break above this, so we had this downtrend, 1, 2, 3 touches, but then on the 13th of September, or sort of early mid-September, we broke above that trend channel. You know, we'd been finding support here at the 21-day moving average here in orange, but we had been finding resistance at the 50-day moving average here in green, but then simultaneously that trend line and the 50 DMA broke, and it's been a nice trading setup, to be honest, because we had that push higher, technical buying, then we had a bit of a retracement back towards the trend line, but then the 21 DMA there in orange and the 50 DMA there in green coincided, and people bought the dip, and now we've just seen this really aggressive push back towards annual highs. Now Brent is actually went above $80 per barrel. Brent's not what we're looking at, and Brent did hit its highest level since 2018. WTI hasn't, by the looks of it, quite crossed above that high we saw from back in July. That was the annual high at the time, but it is probing it. That's in the mid, well, it depends what chart you're looking at. Some charts have got the annual high closer to $77 per barrel. This one's got it around around 76.40, but we've been testing that level this morning. This is a key level, guys. Let me zoom out. In fact, let's put it on a weekly. So just ignore these moving averages now. They're representing weekly charts. You can see this is a very, very key level. That July high coincided with the high back in 2018. When was that? End of September. So literally that was 3 years ago. And if you really, really zoom out, you can see if this level does break, there's not really anything by way of technical resistance between 77 all the way up to, you can see these levels back here. When was this? Yeah, these were the early 2014 lows, the late 2013 lows, around 91.50. Wow. We could really see if this level does go, and perhaps maybe imagine if you see some stops go as well over the next couple of months or even weeks if things get really crazy, because oil does move on technicals quite nicely sometimes. We could see a big push higher. In terms of the fundamentals, what's been going on? Why has crude oil been pushing higher in recent days? Well, the news flow has been broadly supportive, to be honest, from every angle you can think of. I mean, the big thing that seems to be pushing crude oil higher at the moment isn't really specific to crude oil. It's this ongoing sharp spike in global natural gas prices and the problems that is causing. Natural gas prices, by the way, in Europe anyway, I'm not sure about what they're saying in Asia, but in Europe, they've basically quadrupled in the last 6 months to record highs, like double the old record high. So there's all these problems being caused by that in Europe, basically a shortage. We're seeing that these problems spill over to Asia now, like China's basically rationing power because they're struggling to readjust from natural gas towards their alternative like coal and hydropower, which you can't really adjust how much you get from hydropower anyway. But the thing is, when natural gas prices spike like this, it does increase demand for crude oil, because at the margin, a lot of these energy providers and utility companies, they use a combination of different fuels at all times. And as the prices of one rises significantly, then they might switch more to another. So this rise in gas prices is influencing crude oil. In terms of crude oil specifics, well, it seems as though the outages in the Gulf of Mexico as a result of the hurricane there, Hurricane Ida, that's going to more than offset the increase in output this year from OPEC. So you don't have to worry about that. Iran and the US, negotiations there about a return to the nuclear deal and more Iranian output coming on the market. They don't seem to be going anywhere just yet. In terms of the global demand picture, it's a bit sort of mixed, but it does appear that the impact of the global wave of the Delta variant hasn't been as bad as feared, and we are seeing a lot of countries like Japan and Australia and other Asia Pacific countries moving towards reopening their economies. So that's sort of more positive as well on that side. So yeah, those are all kind of the reasons why we've been moving higher in recent days. And if this positivity can remain and we do get a break, then the technicals can kind of take over, like I was saying. And I mean, crude oil is, I mean, I shouldn't say vulnerable, but there is the potential that we could see a big move higher. I mean, we've already seen big moves higher this year, like between March, from the March lows around 57, we went 20 barrels higher by July. Well, why can't we see that again? You know, from the August lows around 61, well, 21 barrels higher than that would put you around 81. And then obviously we're talking about potentially even more upside. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.